working in the scene shop, you want to make sure that you're properly attired, that you have coverage and clothes that you don't mind getting messed up. Whenever using any of the shop tools, you need to have goggles on while working in the shop. If you're doing any heavy sanding or using spray adhesives, we should have a well-ventilated area. We can open up the garage doors, have fans going on, and you should also wear a dust mask. That would help protect you from inhaling any of that sawdust or toxic fumes while you're working. If you're working with a grinder or a welder, you can also wear a face shield. And the face shield will help protect from any sparks from hitting you in the face area. Another thing, when we are moving items from one place to another in the shop, we can use gloves to assist us in doing that. One place to never use gloves is when using any of the shop saws. So if you're using a saw, you don't want to have gloves on, because what can happen with the saw is the blade can catch part of the glove and actually drag it into the saw itself. So you don't want that to happen, so gloves would not be worn when operating any of the large saws. You also want to make sure you roll up any sleeves. You don't have any hanging jewelry or a tie when working these saws, because again, those saw blades can grab a hold of whatever's dangling or loose and pull yourself into that saw blade. That's the way the saw works. So you want to make sure there's no chance of anything getting caught in those saws. Locating safety items when walking through the shop door. So if I walk through the front shop door and I turn immediately over to my right, I can locate the shelf that has all of the glue and sandpaper on it, but it also holds items such as goggles, hearing protection, face masks, and hearing protection. So these foam earplugs can be used also while you're in the shop using some of the major saws to protect your hearing, as well as an area for gloves and knee pads. And right against the front door on the opening is where your first aid kit would be. And immediately underneath is one of the fire extinguishers if that should be needed. Another area that you should be aware of is the flammable cabinet area. So the flammable cabinets are yellow with red writing at the top. We would keep anything that has the ability to catch fire in these cabinets. So they would contain any of the elements that would be inside. We have wood finishing materials. We have spray paint in the tall cabinet. And in the short cabinet, we have solvents and spray adhesives. So there would be any of the spray adhesives, solvents, such as acetone. If we have fuel for gasoline would be in here. Our mineral spirits, our WD-40, anything that is flammable would be contained in these boxes to protect them from any explosion.